O Lord, if thou wilt indeed look on the affliction of thy maidservant, remember me not, forget thy maidservant, but wilt give thy maidservant a son. I will give him to the Lord that day and his life, and no razor shall touch his head. Your God ordained spouse had to come before the altar of the Lord, repent, renounce, denounce, do all that kind of stuff, for everything that he did. But then he actually had to say, I'll give my kids back to you if you give them to me. If you give me children, I'll give them back to you, God. I'll give them back to you. Now, I don't know about the no razor touching their head and stuff like that, but she continued to pray before the Lord, and Eli observed her mouth, and Hannah was speaking in her heart. Only her lips moved, and her voice was not heard. Therefore Eli took her to be a drunken woman. And Eli said to her, how long will you be drunken? Put away your wine from you. Your God ordained spouse. One, let's talk about the way that this is lined up. So it says, Hannah was speaking in her heart. Your God ordained spouses, though they did not verbally admit that they wanted children, their hearts have been desiring it. Their hearts wanted the children. Their hearts was being tugged every time they saw and was around everybody's kids, and they saw their nieces and nephews, and they saw everybody else. Their hearts was being pulled and tugged and tugged and tugged and tugged. Their hearts were being, let's see, how much time do I have? So yeah, their hearts were being tugged about it. And what else? Next, so on her lips, only her lips moved. Some of you God ordained spouses, these were silent prayers. These were the prayers from an internal desire, not so much an outward one. Next, and her voice was not heard, therefore their voice, they did not speak it, they did not share it. You remember in the story with Elijah and the widow, no, not the widow woman, but the woman that used to have the home for him. I think it was the Shunammite woman. The one thing that she did not have was children, but she never said nothing about children. Remember? Come on, God, put this together. She ain't never say nothing about children. But it was when Elijah said, the one thing that you've always wanted, or the one thing you do not have, is children. And what did Elijah say? The woman. She said, don't mess with me about that. Some of them, it's such a hard point for them to not have kids, they can't even talk about it. You get what I'm saying? Their hearts can't even fathom the conversation about it. They won't talk to their friends about it. They won't talk to their family about it. And some of them, because of the situations that they were all messed up in, they can't talk to nobody about it. So, yeah. And Eli took them for a drunkard. Some of them, yeah, they were actually drowning their sorrows in alcohol, drowning their sorrows in whatever their proclivity was, because they wanted it, and if they could get it out of their mind, if it would leave them alone. So, with that being said, Hannah answered, no, my Lord, I am a woman sorely troubled. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but I have been pouring out my soul before the Lord. Do not regard your maidservant as a base woman, for all along I have been speaking out of my great anxiety, and the God of Israel grant your petition. Okay. Oh, speaking out my anxiety and vexation. Okay. Your God ordained spouse has been in the presence of God, laid before the Lord at the altar, bringing this petition back and forth to the Lord because they did want kids. They see that the clock is ticking. They see how old they're getting. They know all of this. And God has been like, I'll help you, but I need you to do something for me too. You can't pray to me about a mess and not get things in order. Some of them, the Lord done showed you to them. But the Lord said, can't have her, can't have the kids till you get this mess straightened out. So until they sat there and laid before the Lord and cried out and said that they and repented for what they did do and separated the situation, they was going to sit there and cry like a child having a temper tantrum. It was like, God's like, I'm not going to feed into your mess. I already done told you that's the person that you need to be with. So until you figure this out, you can cry there all you want. All right? You can be anxious and vexed about the whole thing. You can be frustrated about the fact that you don't have kids, and you can continue to sit in the anxiety of your situation, but until you do what you're supposed to do, I already showed you who your wife is. All right, bye. So when they cried out, that's when the Lord said, okay, you want to do this right now. Because you want to do this right now, then I'm going to bless you. So he's allowing the things that need to die, so that he can come to you and have kids. Because Eli placed a blessing. Your maidservant, go in peace, and God of Israel grant your petition which you have made to him. Once they did everything that the Lord done told them they supposed to do, now they can come to you. Now they can get married. Now they can have the wedding night with you and then produce the kids that they were supposed to always have. So, let's see. She conceived and had a son. You are going to conceive, which brings me back to the word that I was going to release the other day. I started to say it. I've been seeing Pampers commercials on all of my advertisements on it. I don't look at anything in relation to babies. Nothing. But guess what? I get videos popping up about multiples. I get videos popping up about the season of birthing is in. So guess what? I got ads for babies. When you and your spouse I warned you a couple weeks back, you are now fertily open. The Lord is about to bless your womb. When you get married, you will have children. And the Lord gave me this revelation. Some of your spouses were meant to have kids by now, but they did not because of the fact that they were being disobedient. So you're going to end up having the amount of children to add up for what they were supposed to have. Some of you are going to catch them up in time, meaning they were supposed to have 3, 4, 5 kids by now. Some of y'all gonna have triplets, quadruplets, quintuplets. I heard Lady Jeremiah say something about quintuplets the other day, and Miracles with Ray said that when she was at the hospital, she saw the alarm go off for quintuplets 2-3 times a day. And I'm like, okay, you going to get, so with that, you're going to get multiple children to catch your husband up. Okay? It's not for you, it's for him. Some of y'all been sitting up here praying for stuff thinking it was just for you. You forgot you're dealing with another person here. Some of this stuff is happening specifically so that they can get their prayers answered too. There are things that they got stalled out in. And it wasn't just business stuff. There's personal life stuff that just like you've been praying about, they've been praying about too. Stop being one track minded. All about me. They've been praying too. Praying for children, praying for a home that they were going to have with a family, praying for a financial increase or balance in their career. Some of them, they've been praying about stuff and God's like, I can't give that to you because you're not with your spouse, because there's something I need to elevate you into that I can't elevate you into because you're not with the right person. Which brings me back to what I was saying about the Pampers thing. I've been seeing the multiple babies. That the Lord showed me. I've been hearing there. I don't know whether it's a Jagged Edge song or who that is. It's one line out of the song. Somebody give me the song, but it's the song that is black. I don't know what. Maybe Casey and JoJo. Now the baby is born healthy and strong. I can't tell you. I heard that about 3, 4, 5 times. I mean, not 3, 4, 5 times. 3, 4, 5 days in a row. I've been hearing a baby is born healthy and strong. A baby is born healthy and strong. A baby is born healthy and strong. You are going to bear your husband's children. Get ready. Get ready. So, with that happening, it talks about next the fact that they have the child, and then at the child becoming 3 years old, he's taken up to be dedicated. You will have your children and you will go through the proper rites of dedication for your kids. Meaning, you know how I remember I was I went through the child, not baptismal or what have you. They did christening. I had a christening done. Some of you, when you have your kids, you will go through the church process of dedicating your kids. Some of you will go through the process of if you're going to christen your kids. I see it all the time at my church in New York. They do the family service, and they always have all the family members come in dressed in white for the dedication, christening, what have you, of the child. I have a photo of myself when I was about 4 or 5 years old when they did it for me. You will do the same for your children. Your husband will come into agreement for that to be done for your kids. They must be dedicated back unto God. It is good because it is a form of protection for the children. I remember when I first started going to church, there were a couple of people that came forth and were baptized at the church. And it was some that said, oh, I'm going to get baptized. They were going to do it. And within 2 weeks of them preparing to go to do it, they got killed. It's a form of protection for your children. Your children will be baptized. Your children will be dedicated, christened, whatever you want to call it. Circumcised, all of that. Because some people don't have their kids circumcised. You're going to have all of the stuff done to your kids. And that was another thing. That's why the Lord has been saying he needed them to come into agreement with that, because of what the anointing is going to be on those children. Okay? And this is all just coming to me now. So Hannah prayed to the Lord. My heart exalts the Lord. My strength exalts the Lord. My mouth derides my enemies because I rejoice in thy salvation. There is none holy like the Lord, therefore there is none beside thee, and there is no rock like God. I talk no more proudly. Let not arrogance come from your mouth, for the Lord is God, and knowledge. And by him the actions are waged. He bows the Almighty has broken, and there those who were filled hired themselves out for bread, but those who were hungry ceased to hunger. The barren has borne 7, and she who has many children is forlorn. The Lord kills and brings life. He brings down Sheol and rises up. The Lord makes poor and makes rich. He brings low, he also exalts. He rises up and pours from the dust. He lifts up in the needy and in the ash heap, to make them sit with princes, and inheritance of the seat of honor. For the pillar of the earth and the Lord are the Lord's, and on them he sets the word. He will guide thy feet faithful ones, but the wicked shall be cut off in darkness. For now, not by the mighty shall the man prevail. The adversaries of the Lord shall be broken to pieces. Against them he will thunder in the heavens, and the Lord will judge the ends of the earth, and he will give strength to the kings and exalt the power of his anointed. This is what the Lord is saying. Your spouse couldn't just have kids anywhere, couldn't just do anything. Your spouse had to come into agreement with everything that the Lord needed, because those kids need to be anointed for what he needs them for. This isn't, his life was not his own. Your life was not your own. God knew what he was doing with both of y'all from the time you were born, which also means y'all kids. So your God-ordained spouse just had to come into agreement with it. So he could have cried, did all the stuff that he wanted to do in his previous situation. It wasn't going to work until he came into alignment and he bestowed his kids unto God. Now y'all can have the kids that you were supposed to have. So I hope this blessed you and helps you understand why you're going to be having so many children all at once. It's a timing thing. Some of y'all are making up for lost time. Some of you know. I already knew. My family has had twins in them for years, but I did not know what the Lord was saying about these multiples. So the Lord has given me multiple confirmations of a specific thing that he has told me. And I said, okay. And I now got a new revelation as to why he told me that. And my thing is this. I'm going to give my husband as many children as he wants. Period. Whenever the Lord wants us to. Now that I have the understanding, I was always in agreement with the thing, but sometimes there are reasons why God is telling you that he's doing something a specific way. You just need to agree. And now that I have the fullness of the understanding, I'm ready for this. So I needed to put that out there for you to understand what your husband maybe have been dealing with. This is why you're having the kids so fast. So, this is Taja McCameron. Until next time, much love, faith, peace, and blessings to you. Bye-bye.